We are live.
We are live.
Hey,
I saw that.
everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to My Meatomorphis. And Cristie is here with Meeting Wellness. And we're just going to have some girl talk, y'all. I mean, it's not going to be anything formal. If anybody has questions, any topics that they would like for us to talk about, you can just drop them in the chat and we'll address it. And as I always say, if I don't know the answer, I'll do my best to find someone who does. So it looks like we've got Mike Shaw here. Okay. How's it going? Yeah. He's like, oh, great. Girl talk.
Sorry,
That's all
Mike.
right. You know,
Okay. Hang in there with us.
yeah. And you just never know. It might come in handy. Something that you learn might help somebody that you know and love. So just stick around and who knows what we'll get into. It might be good for a laugh, if nothing else, right? I mean, we have to laugh. I don't know about you, but man, my day job has been wild lately. So, and it was wild today. I'm glad we didn't schedule this stream for any earlier because I would have been really, really pushing it. We had
Yeah.
yes, Mike says, of course. Exactly. It's just, it works out that way. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. I had just enough time to get a couple hamburger patties in my face and get me some good meat energy for this and then sit down and let's do it.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, all right. We might wait and give a few people time, some more people a little bit of time to come in so we can just, chat a little bit. And then I'll get you, Cristie, to just tell folks who, may be on my stream and who don't know you, and you'll be able to tell them about yourself. Nothing formal or whatever. You can just share whatever you'd like, and then we'll just take it from there. But yes, for me today, it was, we deal with medical billing with one of the applications that we designed and support. And so we were resolving an issue and of course the issue came up toward the end of the day, and it's something that had to be done. And so because the billing has to be correct, of course. And so that was the nature of my my little work emergency there. And Mike says it's nice to meet you, Cristie.
Hey, nice to meet you too, Mike. Good to see you.
Yeah,
thank you for putting those up there too, Carrie, because I can't see any of the comments.
Yeah, and I believe I have heard in the past, and see, this is my first live with someone else where I am having a guest. So, yes. Cristie, you have the honor of being my first guest and also the curse of it, because any mistakes I make, you'll be my guinea pig.
It's all good. I can guinea pig with the best of them. I did have a 10-minute spot on Keto Cookout the day before yesterday. And that was surprised. It was like the day of, and Adam from Keto Cookout emailed me and was like, hey, we happen to have an opening. Can you come on in 3 hours? So I did that, and that was brave of me, but I did it. And otherwise, you would have been my first live. But I mean, this is different. We're planning on chatting for a good hour here. So I mean, 10 minutes is this. So this is my first full live where I'm the only guest. And yeah, I'm excited about this too. And Carrie, Mike's right. You are a natural.
Oh, well, thanks.
You drew me in with you're just real, and it's really cool because I can see we definitely have some things in common, but then it's like, like the metal stuff, not my thing.
Right.
but that's okay. Like, it's great that you're into that. And when you talk about it, I don't even mind listening because you're just so easy to listen to, so, and then,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, well, here come some compliments here. Mike saw you on the cookout, and he said that's how he found you.
That's great. I had a great time with those guys, and I'll maybe go on again there sometime because it's just a blast on that. They just have fun, and Russ is good for poking a little fun at you while you're on there. Yeah, but yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, I was on there a couple weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was. We just got into all kinds of discussion. So it was great. But let's see. Aha.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. See, he saw me on the cookout. This is how he knows.
Yes.
Now
So
I know
talk about that. Talk about sprinting in your neighborhood. Hey, and look who else is here.
Who's here? Hi, it's Ellie.
Ellie's here.
Ellie. Yay.
Yes.
So sprinting in my neighborhood. Okay. I mean, there's a little bit of backstory to this. On the Keto Cookout, you get a very short window of time to talk, but basically where I am in my journey, I don't have any more weight to lose. I did lose about 20 pounds and I don't have any more to lose. And so where I'm going from here is more into the health aspect of it. So mental health definitely included in that. But the sprinting is my physical health. So I was kind of, I don't know, coming to this point of almost a little bit of discouragement because I saw a few pounds go back on the scale. I shouldn't have felt that way because my clothes fit the same. Like it's got to be muscle, right? But we women, sorry, Mike, but we women, that will freak us out. If we see 3, 4, 5 pounds go on, we're like, right? And so that was starting to happen. Now in my mind, you know, in my rational mind, I know it's probably muscle. My clothes aren't fitting any tighter and all of that, but that's just scary to see. So I thought, all right, let's be proactive about this. And I watched a video with Dr. Barry, who interviewed another doctor, Dr. Sean O'Mara.
Yes.
So that's a great video. Go watch it. But and he's awesome. But he was talking, mostly it was about visceral fat being a health marker. But one of the things with that was he gets all of his, I don't know if you call clients, patients, whatever, sprinting. So sprinting supposedly has all of these benefits, one of them being putting on muscle, reducing visceral fat, and they don't want you jogging, running 2, 3, 4, 5 miles. It's like sprinting all out for a short distance and just doing that on a regular basis. So it's like a maximum effort for a very short amount of time. And so I thought, I'm going to give it a try. I'm just going to do a 30-day challenge. Why not? So I made up my own challenge. Who knows if anyone else is doing it? No one in their right mind is probably doing it. I don't know. But I made up my own challenge. And as you know, Carrie, I was doing the weights and I still have my weights. I love those dumbbells. But I thought to really see how this sprinting is going to work out for me, I'm going to stop doing everything that I've been doing. And I'm going to sprint every morning for 30 days. And before I started, I bought a scale that doesn't just do weight. It wasn't for the weight. It was for the, you know, it measures your muscle, your bone density, like all of those type of measurements. Oh. So I have those measurements from, well, it was really day 2, but that was due to, I was really brand new. I was like a 2-day-old YouTuber. Like I was having technical difficulties. So anyways, on day 2, I took all those measurements. And then after day 30, I'm going to take them again. And then I'm going to make a video about that. But I kind of do an update video. I was putting them together 2 or 3 days at a time, and now I'm just posting them daily. But it's, you know, yes, it tells you how much I sprinted, but it also tells you the cool stuff. Like I'm out on my street at 6 a.m. This is what he's talking about. Running down my cul-de-sac to the end and back for about 15 minutes. And you would think at 6 a.m. you wouldn't see anybody. Not true. Like people are leaving for work. People are walking their dogs. My neighbor across the street comes out and warms up his car every morning and all of this stuff. And so I see people, and in my, you know, prior carnivore life, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have gone out and sprinted where people could see me because I'm 47 and I probably look ridiculous. And what are they going to think? And they're going to think I'm weird. Right. And so I'm just not going to do it.
I understand.
But I don't have that anymore. Like there's a guy that walks the dog. He has a giant dog. And so often we'll see each other and he's walking his dog and we'll just have a little conversation while I'm catching my wind, you know, but you're doing sprints. And then I'll just, okay, bye. I'm going to go sprint and just take off. And I don't care if he's watching, his dog watching, like whoever. It doesn't bother me because it's not, I don't know. I just have this mental freedom now. So yeah. But Russ made a joke about, you know, they're going to think you're going to burglarize. You're there to, you know, scope out their places, and then they're going to call the cops. So he's like, if you see someone sprinting down her street, don't call the cops. It's just Cristie. Yeah, but yeah, I'm on today was day 18. Day 18. Oh. And I have sprinted every day. There was one particular day where I had a late night the night before. My son is not on the football team, but he's in the school band. So we were at the football game the previous night, and it was a long walk for reasons. If you want to know about that, it's in my video, but it was a long walk to get there. And then we were out late, and then it was like, here came 6 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, but I did it. And then afterwards, I felt great that I didn't like let that stop me. But I've been sore. I've been a walking sore muscle mess. So it's not for the faint of heart, but I think it's the good sore, right? Like it's doing something to my muscles.
I think so. So I do have a question for you. You've been sprinting every day, right?
Every day. And I dropped all my other exercise, just to see what would happen.
Just to see what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you a little bit about before I really discovered Sean O'Mara and saw the interview with Dr. Berry, which he just recently did. But I had seen recommendation elsewhere that sprinting would be good. So I started sprinting every day. And one morning I woke up and I could barely walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to stop for
Mm-hmm.
a couple of days because I just couldn't do it every day. And then I've seen where some people say to do it every other day.
Yes.
So I have changed. Well, I didn't sprint for a while because I was like, this is too painful and I must have done something wrong.
I don't think you did. It's no joke. I'll wake up. Carnivore sleep is so regenerative. I cannot say that word. Anyways, it regenerates me. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
But I wake up and I feel okay. Like I was sore when I went to bed, but I wake up and I feel good. But then I go out and sprint and then it's like I'm sore, because it just hits you. And I'm not going to sprint every day forever. I did say that after the 30 days, I might do it 3 days a week. It's not going to be every day forever. I'm definitely going to incorporate my weights and all that other stuff back in there. So.
Right. Because I just was like, and of course, I didn't see where anybody had a schedule per se. Exactly. I had just seen the recommendation and I just thought, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But boy, I did it for I guess it was about maybe 5 or 6 days in a row. And all of a sudden, like that very last morning, I went to get out of bed and I was like, holy cow, what happened? I could barely walk and I was like, okay, this is not good. Maybe I sprinted too much because here's what I was doing. I incorporated it into my morning walk. And so I would walk and then I would sprint between telephone poles.
Okay. Yeah.
And I did that for my whole morning walk, which ranges for a long time. I didn't even clock it. And then now the Fitbit that still isn't charged told me that my route was between 1.5 miles to 2.5 miles, depending on which route I took. I have just several different ways that I go. So I would just walk for a while. Then I'd sprint between telephone poles and then I'd walk a little bit more and then sprint again. Mm-hmm. And so that was just how I incorporated it into my walk.
Yeah.
But I believe it was the 6th morning. I was like, oh no, this is bad. What did I do? Because I'm serious. It hurt to walk. I did not do squat that day.
Correct.
Nothing.
I had about the first, 10 to 11 days were kind of like that. And now I'm just sore, but it's a little bit sore. And I think it's because the longer I go, I push myself. You're supposed to push yourself to your limit. So my poor muscles, they don't have a chance to get over it. They're constantly having to grow because I'm constantly pushing myself. But I'm not miserable like I was those first, 10 days or so. But my plan on my channel is to do a new fitness challenge every 30 days or so, or, have a day to do my results and then start a new one. And so I have a vote up on my community tab. You'd have to scroll down now to find it. So I think planks are winning. Everyone wants to see me do planks. So that's good. We'll see if it ends up on top, but it's either planks, push-ups, or deadlifts is what's up for grabs after I'm done sprinting. Yep.
I voted for planks.
Yeah, planks. Yeah, we talked about planks because I was asking you about that. How long can you do them? I don't know how long I can do a plank. I haven't done planks before. So it'll really be like a first time, really from the first time ever to 30 days, if that's what.
From what I understand online, it's pretty good if you can do a minute. And I've seen some to where take it with a grain of salt because you find so many different methods and things online. And some said that there's no real benefit of doing them past a minute and a half. Mm-hmm. That I guess you get what you need from it.
Okay.
For, if you do it for a minute and a half. And actually doing it for 30 seconds is supposed to be pretty good. Maybe it is. There again, I'm sure that there are so many different opinions and theories, and whether you're just a bodybuilder or just what it is that you actually do, that kind of thing.
Well, maybe this time I'll look it up. I just started sprinting. Just what do I know? And then I saw somebody's advice to do like 20-second sprints, 8 20-second sprints. So for the last few days, I've been doing that. Before that, I was just kind of sprinting till my quadricep would go, nope, and then I'd stop. But I didn't research it before I tried the sprinting. So anyways, this is one of the things that's like, I've got to really get into this fitness, I feel, to like improve. I know you're kind of the same way with the wanting to put on muscle. And that's where I am too. That's one of the reasons I was excited to talk to you, because I think we have that in common.
Oh, we sure do. And I just don't have much to work with at all. And I'm going to do a video, but I'll go ahead and share. I had my physical yesterday, and most of it was fantastic. I mean, like they did the EKG and just all the things, and everything looks great. But I had been saying that I weighed 119.4 pounds. And I will tell you, I do not own a scale and haven't owned one in years. I know, don't hate me, but I just never worried about it really. And so then when they weighed me, it was 110 pounds even.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, I've been eating more, and but apparently I don't, I'm just like, ugh. And so, of course, he expressed a little bit, when the doctor finally got in there, he expressed some concern about, losing greater than 15 pounds since the last time I'd seen him, which, of course, when I saw him before, it was before Carnivore. The weird thing is, though, I was eating very low carb before. I mean, I was probably considered ketovore if I had known that ketovore was a thing. I would eat some vegetables, but it wasn't every day. And it just, I don't know what made the difference. I don't know if it's just the increase in fat maybe, and the increase in meat, and just leaving out all other vegetables. I don't know. It's just very strange, but I feel better than I ever have. And so I don't want to change. So I'm really but I'm perplexed about that, because it's like, I thought I was eating more. What in the world? How could I have lost even more weight? So, but here's a funny little factoid though, a funny little thing that happened. So when the nurse was questioning me about, she was asking about my diet, and I just said, well, I eat very clean. And she says, and she was talking about my weight loss. And she says, well, are you trying to lose weight? And I said, no. And then she says, are you eating meat? And I said, yes, lots of it. And she said, oh, well, that's good. So I guess she might have thought I was a vegetarian or a vegan, maybe, because I said I was eating clean. And of course, a lot of people think that
that's where their mind goes,
is clean. And she says, are you eating meat? And I said, oh, yes, lots of it. And she says, oh, good. And so, but that's about as far as, we didn't really talk about diet after that. My doctor didn't even ask, but he did mention that it was kind of concerning. And so I'm like, yeah.
Have you thought about fermented vegetables? Like, I haven't tried fermented vegetables, but Dr. O'Mara, that's what he recommends if you're going to do vegetables. I don't know if it's supposed to help you, but I know they're a lot better for you than non-fermented vegetables.
If I do vegetables, I would have to do something like that. And there's no way I could do raw ones at all. Raw ones. No. And that's one reason why I used to like salads well enough. Not enough to eat them every day, of course, but I did like them. But I mean, I noticed that every time I would eat salad, it would just make my stomach just like bloat and gurgle. And so it'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I've never been a salad person, really. Yes, Ellie, running after kids counts.
It all counts.
Yes, it does. You're sprinting probably all day, every day with your little ones.
And twice on Sunday.
And twice on Sunday. That's right. You have those Southern expressions. I love it. My dad was from the South, not from where you are, but yeah, it just reminds me of that side of my family so much. Oh, the run out. It'll be an 18 plus year. Yes. Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Yeah.
I remember those days fondly. I have 2 boys, but I have a 17-year-old who'll be 18 in a couple months, and then another one that just turned 15. So yeah, I'm not chasing 2-year-olds around anymore. So I got to do something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for this. But he says your body is settling into your natural weight. I'm not a doctor. Really? For real? But my guess is your body percentage, and body fat percentage probably is low. If you feel great and your numbers are good, no worries. I do feel great and my numbers are good. However, I am 5'9".
Oh, you're tall.
And my BMI, did I do a screen image of it on my phone? I don't know. Is this appropriate to see if I can find it? I am going to do a video.
Well, while you look for it, I might suggest a DEXA scan. I'm going to go get a DEXA scan to compare those results with what my little scale that I got on Amazon to just compare. And when I do that, I'll throw it out there on a video. But I'm very interested to see, my visceral fat, my muscle tissue, lean muscle mass, and all of that, all those numbers, subcutaneous fat. So I'm just going to go pay cash for a DEXA scan. I'm just curious about that because that's where I am now. Like I said, I don't have any more weight to lose, but how can I optimize the body I have? My mental health is now optimized in so many ways. Like it's amazing. Like I've never felt this good mentally in my life.
Me neither.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, it's
all my mental space that I used to use for just crazy stuff, like obsessing about food and obsessing about, just being anxious about things. I wasn't anxious all the time, but like if I stayed in my lane, if I stayed in my comfort zone, I was okay. And that was like go to work and come home and sit on the couch. Like that was my comfort zone. And if I did that, I was okay. And I haven't talked about this. This is a premiere for you, but I was okay doing that, right? But how boring is that? And then I was exhausted because I'm a teacher, and that is an exhausting job, right? It is a tiring job, but I would come home and I was done. So I'd sit on the couch and I would just be like, okay, mom's closed for 20 minutes. Don't talk to me because I'd have to, recharge my batteries. And then I would, get them some dinner and then go back to the couch. And that's all I really had the mental space for. And anytime I went outside of that, amusement park, whatever, sprinting down my street, I wouldn't have done that. Going anywhere else, I was just so worried about who's looking at me and what are they thinking? And, like my husband, he planned a trip a few years ago. And we did a zip line. And it was great, but like mostly I was thinking, what if I look weird? Like, what if the other people ziplining with me think I'm not doing it right? What if it stops right in the middle? What if like
don't
all
you
of that?
that?
Why? Who cares? Like this is my first time ziplining. I'm not supposed to be good at it.
That stupid voice in your head.
Yes.
It really does. And it criticizes everything you do. Well, you're going to look stupid if you do this, or they're going to think that you don't know what you're talking about. If you, get in, like my previous self would be saying, well, if you were to do a live stream, who are you to talk to people about carnivore? You were already skinny and nobody's going to care. And, but there's so much more to it than just weight. That's the beauty of it. That's why people stress those non-scale victories, because it is worth it to feel better. Now, I look like a walking skeleton, okay, but I feel great, and I'll be fitting right in on Halloween too. I'm going to put some of that. Oh, I used to love to dress up for Halloween. So I would get the liquid latex and put it on. And then I would look like a zombie, so I'm going to fit right in this year.
You do that.
Put my purple blush. I don't normally wear blush hardly. I don't wear much makeup at all, but I'm going to put on that. I think I've got some purple blush and, just some stuff to just make myself look like a corpse. And I'm just going to ham it up. I'm just going to go with it. But the whole point is I never, ever would have done something like this before,
Nope.
and you
Nope.
wouldn't have either.
No, I wouldn't have talked like this to people. I still consider myself an introvert, but it's like I feel like I'm like my real self. So I don't mind
Yes.
talking to people. To me, an introvert is like I need time to recharge. So like if I'm gonna go do something, go to a group gathering, I might need a day after that to like, okay, like but I'm not afraid to do that anymore. And I don't turn down invitations because of that anymore. You know, like the end of when I was still keto and not carnivore, because on keto I lost my weight, but on carnivore is where I got all the mental benefits. I didn't see any of that from keto. So in June, the end of the school year last year, there was like a staff party and I didn't go because what if it's weird that I don't drink? What are they going to be thinking? They're all drinking, they're dancing, they're whatever. And here I am over here. Then everyone's going to ask me, why am I not drinking? And then I'm going to have to talk about that, like all of that. I just didn't go. And so that would not happen now. You know, I would just go, I wouldn't drink, but I would go and hang out with everybody and be fine and just be like, I just don't drink because I don't drink. And that's why, you know, and be fine and just, you know, not feel like it's up to me to explain myself and worry about that. You know, so.
Exactly. But you know, you're not the only one, especially I have known people who, you know, when they used to, not that they were alcoholics or anything, but they would decide that they weren't going to drink anymore because it was healthy for them. And they were concerned that they would appear to be dull or boring or whatever. And in reality, you find out that most people are worried about themselves. They're worried about whether they're feeling insecure, like, oh, are they looking at me? Do I have a booger in my nose? What's, you know, what if I trip, or just whatever it happens to be. So I think sometimes because we're us and we live inside of our bodies, and so we've got that little voice telling us things. The outside world, generally speaking, doesn't reflect that at all. People just don't care, but we think that we're the center of the universe.
Yeah. But I don't feel that way anymore. So I'm fine to do stuff. I mean, my channel's maybe 2 or 3 weeks old now, and I've made like 60 videos because I just started doing it. And my whole thing is, hey, just fail upwards. So your first video was terrible. Okay. So then what can you learn new? And just fail upwards. Not your first video was terrible. Everyone probably hated it. They're probably all laughing at you. Shut it down.
Right.
Fail upwards. So what can you learn on the next one? Oh, I can learn about thumbnails. I can learn about, right? So like all these new skills, and I'm just having the best time. If people say negative comments, I can just let those roll off because we all know on the internet, you're going to get some negative comments.
Oh, you're going to get some, and I'm sure mine are coming. Knock on wood, I really haven't gotten any yet, but I'm not that big either.
Same. I'm smaller than you right now because it's been 3 weeks.
In terms of YouTube fandom and all that, I mean, I'm just a little drop in the bucket. I'm no drop in the ocean.
Drop in the ocean.
But, you know, I think that, I mean, I can also realistically look in the mirror and I can see now I don't hate the way I look. But I want to look more feminine. You know, my skin is a lot better. I mean, I'm 57 years old. And I went and partied, well, not partied. I mean, I didn't drink, but I mean, my brother and I went to Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, and I was out until after midnight. And, you know, I had energy. I had a great time. I mean, I know people my age, yes, even that young, who just have terrible health problems. They need canes. I mean, it's sad. I went to a friend of mine plays in a Eagles tribute band, and we went and saw them. Oh, it was in March. It was in March. I had to stop and think about that. The months had just flown by. But anyway, went and saw them, and unbeknownst to me, because I'm not on social media, my class of 84, a lot of the people were meeting at that show. But I didn't know that until I got there, and people were coming up to me and they recognized me, and I didn't know who they were. And like, there were a couple of people in wheelchairs. I mean, it was sad. I was like, oh my gosh, what has happened? It was very sad, and it was very disconcerting. And I was picturing them, and I guess we all do this. You picture them as they looked.
Yeah. The last time you saw them.
And but there were a couple of people though, and it was just really sad because I remembered them in high school, and they were vivacious and very popular, and just it's like, oh man, this is terrible. And I'm just like, that makes me even more determined though. Like when I stop and think about, am I gonna? And I don't really get tempted to eat much. My daughter, she says I hate you, but she doesn't. She's she's in her 30s, but anyway, she'll say like I hate you because like we'll be somewhere and she'll smell cookies or see cookies and she'll want to get cookies. And she's low carb. She's not carnivore, but she is low carb. And she'll say, how do you just walk by those cookies? And I'm like, I just don't want them because for one thing, I've got it good where I am right now. And I don't want to upset the apple cart. I do not want to disturb it. I've got the trifecta going. I've got my meditation. I've got my carnivore, and I've got my walks every morning. It's the great trifecta. And I've just got this perfect mojo going, and I'm not going to mess it up.
Yeah. I don't have, when I went carnivore, that's when my cravings went away. So keto, I still had cravings. Like I would crave whatever that's like, some cream cheese with some sweet stuff in there, no sugar, and if I had it one day, then I want it, again. So, but now with carnivore, I can look at all the things. I don't want it at all. I just don't. And so that's another thing. It's just, when I'm hungry, I eat my meat and then I move on. So I'm not thinking about, is this thing that I'm eating going to make me gain weight? Or how many calories is this? How many fat grams is this? All day, every day. I would have a silent calorie count in my head all day, every day, all the time. How many calories is this? Because I thought calories in, calories out, all that, eat less, move more, all that. And that there was that running total just in my head at all times. So, I never got, I don't have those crazy before and afters like other people who lost 100 pounds. If you see my, before and afters, I don't even know if I have any befores. I just don't have a lot of pictures of me, but I mean, a size 6 to a size 2. So they're not going to look at me and just be like, that's amazing, just by what I look like on the outside. But it's the mental freedom on the inside that's why I made my channel, because it's like, I've got to share this.
Yes.
It's crazy. And I see a question from Mike. What do you teach, Cristie? Forgive me for sitting in the back of the class, being disruptive, trying to make everyone laugh. I have a few of those in my class, my real class. And by the way, I do teach 5th grade and I love it. This is my 23rd year teaching. So I'm 10 years younger than you. I'm 47, Carrie. So yeah, this is my 23rd year teaching. And I'm to the point now in my career that those kids that want to make, I appreciate a joke and I make them laugh. First, they're afraid to laugh, and then I'm like, that was funny. You're supposed to laugh. And then they laugh, and then now they know that it's okay to laugh, and if some kid's being funny, we'll take a joke here and there as long as it's not out of control. So that doesn't bother me at all, Mike Shaw TV, not at all. And yes, I love my 5th graders. Oh, I forgot to say, when I finish my 30-day sprint challenge, I'm going to challenge those kids to a race.
Oh, they'll love that.
Right? So we're going to race. Are you faster than a 5th grade teacher? Yes. PE edition. Yep. I wish I could film it. Obviously, for privacy reasons, I cannot. So, yeah. But I'll talk about it. I'll let you know how many kids I beat. How many 10-year-olds am I faster than?
And they'll be teasing their classmates.
Yeah. If I beat them, that's like major kudos for me. And yeah, that's a too bad for them. Yeah. But we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to race.
Yeah. You've definitely got to share the results of that. And I guess now I can go ahead and just, I think we've got some folks in here. So just give us a little bit of your story, how you first started. Like, did you start out with low carb and then just kind of stumble into it? Or did you read about carnivore and be like, that's it, I'm in? So just give us the scoop.
I touched on a few of these things here and there, but I'll put it together into one cohesive story for everybody out there. So I kind of already touched on this, but when I was a teenager, this is when this all started, because I put on a few pounds here or there, like we all do when we start getting our hips and things like that. I don't think it was fat weight. It was just natural puberty woman weight, right? But that can freak some people out. And maybe some girls said some not too nice things to me, about that. And that's where the yo-yo dieting began for me. That's where the just consumed with everything that went in my mouth, thinking about it all the time, you know. But I remember my mom, you know, we had margarine in the house, and she thought, you know, saturated fat is like all the standard American stuff. And I do even remember her telling me, well, saturated fat is bad, and like telling me why it was bad and all of this stuff. And so, but I was so obsessed that I wouldn't even eat a banana because there's a little bit of fat in a banana. Like,
oh, wow.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 15, 16 years old. Like, that's crazy. Right. So, but that was all in my head. I don't think my mom probably even knew, you know. I know. Sorry, Mike. I said girl things. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's where it started. Ellie thinks I'm extroverted, but that my diet hindered my true potential. Okay. Well, Ellie, I'm going to take that personality test and we'll see. Anyway, so you know, here I am, a teenager, starting on the yo-yo dieting thing. I got to eat less. I got to eat less. I got to eat less. And yeah, I would lose weight, you know, and then I just couldn't eat any less. Like, you hit a wall. You can't just eat nothing. Like, you have to eat. And so then it was like, well, I guess I just can't do this. I guess there's something wrong with me. I'm just going to eat a sleeve of Oreos and call it good. And so there goes the you know, the binging. Like, I just don't care anymore. You know, I'm just going to eat what I want. And, you know, all the junk food and whatever. And then, of course, the weight starts to go up, and then it's like, oh, but I can't get too fat. So there you go. So then the cycle. Somewhere in my 20s, I heard about the Atkins diet, but I didn't research it because I'm Gen X. Like, we're not like immersed in social media from birth, right? So in our generation, so that wasn't a go-to, like, let me go like Google it. That just wasn't even a thing. It did not occur to me to even do that at all. So it was just, what are people saying about it? Like, what am I hearing? I don't even think I asked anybody. It was just like, I'm hearing these things and then sort of implementing it, right? So net carbs, right? Count net carbs. And just, you could eat bacon, but like, bars are fine, shakes are fine. Nothing about whole food, nothing about whole foods, or not to eat the processed foods. I didn't know anything about the seed oils, you know, all of these things that are actually so important. I still didn't know anything about. But that started my low carb. So I would try to do low carb, right? But I never mentally felt any better. And I was still counting everyth't and obsessed about everything. So it wasn't any better for me. So I would get the same result. I would lose weight. And then it just gets exhausting tracking and doing all of that. And count, even though I wasn't like in an app, or I didn't write it down, but it was just in my head all day. And so I was still doing the same thing, just with a different, like, just with low carb-ish, trying to be low carb. But the results weren't really any different. And I did that all the way up through, I mean, currently. So the February of this year, again, the weight had started to creep up. Hi, Andy. The weight had started to creep up. And I thought, well, I can't get over 140. If I get over 140, I'm just that's it for me. I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to go stick my head in a hole somewhere and hide. And so I've got to do something. So keto, I know, I've heard about keto. I'm going to do keto, right? No research, just bacon good, bread bad, keto, go. And I started that in February. And the difference really happened for me, though. This is what flipped a switch and why it was so different for me this time at 47. And that is that in 2020, they sent all the teachers home with the kids and said, just teach them online, figure it out. And they gave us no training, no tools, nothing. We just had to figure it out. And so by that time I was on Facebook just to like keep in touch with people. But I was like, I can't just figure this out on my own. I can do some tech, but so I joined some Facebook groups for teachers. So we were there to like support each other. So that kind of taught me about Facebook groups and like how you can meet up with other people, learn things, figure stuff out that way. So this time when I did keto, probably about a week in, I joined a couple of Facebook groups. And so that was a good thing that came out of the whole 2020 situation for me. It taught me that, and it allowed me to do that for this. And I was in there, recipes and people's stories and all this kind of stuff. And somebody at some point pretty early on put the magical words, Dr. Barry. Check out Dr. Barry.
You found Dr. Barry.
Like everybody else, right? How boring, Cristie. You're no different. Everybody's Dr. Barry. Yep, Dr. Barry for me too. So I went down a major Dr. Barry kick. My husband was like, I can't listen to this guy anymore. And I was like, okay. So I put in my earbuds and I just kept on with Dr. Barry. And I learned all the things. And so I very quickly switched my keto to the really like the correct keto, right? The heavy meat with maybe a little bit of veg, maybe a little bit of dairy, keeping the total carbs below 20. But I will say that I was still tracking. So I downloaded an app, right? And I put that stuff in there. And on keto, some of the cravings went away. But like if I ate too much cheese, I would notice a crave, like, you know, that would trigger a craving for me. So the cravings were better for the sugars, you know, but they weren't gone. I did lose weight. That's how I lost my initial about 19, 20 pounds, something like that. So I was very happy with that. But I noticed absolutely zero mental benefits, nothing. I didn't research that part of it. I had gotten into it to lose weight. It took me about 3 months to do that. And then I was just kind of going along, and I think without thinking about it, I just like the vegetables and stuff just sort of off my plate. And then I heard Nisha Berry talking about Carnivore, and I got to thinking about it, and I thought, I think I'm that. Like, I think I'm under 10 carbs at this point. And then again, I'd heard about carnivore because Dr. Berry started talking about that more and more, but it wasn't like I went, I'm going carnivore. Like some people go carnivore for a specific condition, skin condition, autoimmune condition, whatever. That wasn't me. I just have always liked meat. Like people would tease me way before, like, you're such a carnivore. Like I wasn't, but you know, I would eat all the steak and then like nothing else at times. And so it just kind of happened, honestly. And then I don't even really do, not that I won't do any dairy. I still do a touch of heavy cream. I still do coffee in the morning with just like a half a tablespoon of heavy cream in there. So that's about all for dairy. I don't do any cheese right now currently, but that's not to say if I saw a charcuterie plate at a party, I would probably enjoy that, you know, but on the daily, I'm mostly beef, butter, bacon, egg with like, I still do coffee. I still, you know, I do an element to keep, I do notice electrolytes. Like if I don't have enough, I get headaches and some cramps in the legs. So I use element, and that's about it for anything that's not meat though. And so it was accidental, right? It was like, I submitted a video for Carrie on Homestead How, his 24-hour live stream that's in a couple of days. And I titled it like, I accidentally went carnivore and I'm not going back, because I really feel like I'm an accidental carnivore. I never made that decision. But then after a while of doing that, that's when the mental benefits just started kicking in. And I was like, what the heck? Like, yeah, amazing. Like, what is this? And then I started researching, right? Then I'm like, why is my anxiety gone? Like, why am I not afraid of people anymore? Why will I make a YouTube channel and not, you know, and just be happy about it? Why am I not anxious and nervous? Why am I not exhausted? Why am I sleeping better? Right? All of those things keto did not do for me, and accidentally going carnivore did that for me. And I really am not going back, because I don't want to be the way that I was before. So I have energy to exercise, to get out there. It's not hard. I mean, yes, it's hard to do a sprint challenge, but I mean, I have the energy is what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like I have the energy to go do it. So I'm going to.
Exactly. It's like my walks in the morning. Now I've been walking for quite a while now. I will not say that I was consistent before carnivore, but I would walk several times a week. It's just after carnivore, I just noticed where I was eager to get up and go walk. And then it was like, and I've always kind of noticed things around me. I'm into art. I love to draw and paint. And I'd sort of gotten out of doing that as adult life sort of hit me. But so I do tend to notice things though. I've got that artist brain, like I'll see patterns or whatever, but it's like, it was increased. It was like turned up. The volume was turned up and the HD was on, and you know, the 4K, and you could just see more the beautiful, the colors in the clouds as the sun was coming up, the golds and the pinks and purples just mingling together, and those first rays of the sun. And then some mornings it's you know, it's just the sun, and because there's no clouds. But then other mornings there'll be clouds, but then you'll notice what I call the Jesus clouds, and those are special because those rays are just coming through, and then those golden colors around the edges of the clouds, and I notice that stuff more, and I see the beauty around me. Whereas before, I might notice some of that, but it just didn't impact me like it does now. And it just does something to me and does something to my soul to see it and to start my day that way. And I have an adjustment that I'm really trying to make now, because like you were saying earlier, You get out at about 6:30 in the morning. I was generally getting out at about between like really about 5:30 to 6, but the sun comes up later now, and I don't want to be doing this in the dark. And so it's making my walk a little bit later and a little bit later. And so I'm more pressed for time because I have to log in at 7 o'clock, and also the sun, if I don't time it right, I don't get to see that sunrise. So I may have to, until the time changes. Once the time changes, then I think it'll be better because then I can get out before everybody else is moving around.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, I think we're kindred spirits because when I post my sprinting updates, I don't just say I sprinted like this. I notice stuff. So like one morning I went out a little earlier because I was hungry. I went out at 5:30. I go out at 6 usually, but I went out at 5:30 because I was hungry and I like to sprint fasted. So I did my sprints first and I heard an owl and I was like, I hear an owl. And I put that in my video because it's like, what? Another day there was like this beautiful crescent moon and these like crazy, it was kind of shining into the clouds. And then you could see Venus like bright in the sky. One day I saw a hot air balloon like rising up over the sunrise. And that's what I was running towards. Like,
wow.
Like you notice stuff like that. When I get to the end of my street, I have a view of the mountains. Like I can see Big Bear Mountain, which is the big mountain. People ski on it here. And it just, the mountains look like these cardboard cutouts behind. They didn't look three-dimensional. They looked like cardboard cutouts of mountains with the sun, the orange, the tangerine sunrise. And I usually don't film mid sprinting, but when I got down to the end of my street, the next time I went down there, I took my phone and I was like, you guys, I'm like, I know my phone isn't doing this justice, but oh my gosh. Right. So yeah, I'm like, get out of your house at 6 a.m. because you see some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Now I hear the transition between the crickets. When I go out, it's crickets. And by the end, it's birds because the crickets are finishing their song and the birds are starting theirs. So I'm with you on that. I have the same kind of like feelings and senses.
It's just spiritual. It is. It's a communion with nature. And it sounds so goofy when you say it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's goofy. And like, I identify with what you were saying because I feel the same way. It's just, and you appreciate the blessings around you because I've learned, and I can't say, I mean, my meditation probably has helped some with this. However, it's like, I have had this dream for a while now to move to the country. Well, I'm single. And I'm not that I'm old, but I mean, I'm 57 and I'm a female and, I would have to maintain a place by myself at this stage of my life unless I could find something. I don't know. It's just, I still have the dream, but there was a part of me that would just be like, I'm not 100% happy because I want to live in the country. Okay. Well, fast forward, now I'm on Carnivore and my attitude has shifted. Now, would I like to live in the country? Sure, I would. I really do. I want to live in what my son calls a little towny town where they have a town square and everybody knows everybody. But here's the thing. You can wave to your neighbors now.
Yeah.
You can notice the beauty that's around you now. And so that's what I've started doing. And, my neighbors, when they see me walking now, they wave if they're out. I've talked to more people and there's a lady that walks her dog. She's got a big white dog. Sweetest thing. I'm not sure what kind of dog it is, but it's so sweetheart, just a sweet dog. And always the dog runs up to me. That dog minds too, because she doesn't have the dog on a leash. And so, but if she says like one word, that dog will stop. So, I mean, the dog is extremely well trained, but the dog will run up to me and I'll say, well, hey, sweetheart, how are you doing this morning? And it's just a nice beginning to the day. And then she and I'll exchange a couple of words before we move on. And it's just, so it's like, yes, I would like to be in the country, but, I'm grateful for what I do have. And that's a very important thing. And I think getting our bodies right, and when we're eating these good, healthy fats, and then the next thing you know, you start getting your mind right too. And then when you start focusing on the good in your life, suddenly things don't seem that bad. Things things could always get better. And of course, you want to improve.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, just appreciate and enjoy what you do have, because we're very fortunate. And I consider myself fortunate. There again, I've had some pretty harrowing experiences the past few weeks with, just issues with finding a place for my dad to live, and just some various things that dealt with water problems, like when they turned the water off, and when they turned it back on, all my pipes got clogged with all the sludge.
Wow.
And it was not my I'm on the end of the street, and so apparently when that happens, the pressure just really, I get like a big,
Yeah, because you're closest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aww.
And so that was not fun either. And then, of course, before that, another water issue was that there was a leak in my water meter. And so my yard had water all in it. But I dealt with it.
Now you have to deal with the water company, because they're going to charge you an arm and a leg for all that water until they realize that it's a broken meter.
Yeah. And actually what ended up happening, though, the guy was really cool, the guy who came and worked on it. And I made sure I brought him some water when he was out there working, because it was a hot, hot day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if me being so nice helped, but I did not have to pay for any of that water.
Wow. Awesome.
Now, I don't know if it's because the leak was on their side, because like at a certain point from the meter to the street, it's their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy was really nice and cool. And he said, well, you're all taken care of. And I said, what's the damage going to be? And he said, well, I don't think you're going to have to pay anything. He says, I got it all fixed, and I think you're good to go. And so they never did charge me anything. So
that's great. That's great. Yeah. What you were saying kind of resonated with me too, because things happen in life, like things are going to happen, but I don't, it's like that, whatever, carnivore zen, they call it. I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't throw me. Like, I'm like, okay, well that happened, and now this is what I'm going to do about it. And then I do that, and then I move on. I'm not like anxious or worried about what the outcome is going to be. I just handle it, and it doesn't like take me out, So that's definitely, I've noticed that as well. Hi, Lindsay. I see Lindsay's comment. She got to go grocery shopping because both her kids were sleeping.
All right, let's see. Oh, looky here. We got RV there yet.
RV there yet. I love that name. I don't know you yet, RV there yet, but hi.
Yeah, this RV there yet has been with me since probably like day 2, maybe. I don't know. Very early. Somehow they found me, and they've been hanging out with me. Okay, let's see.
Thanks, Ellie.
And tracking really can be tedious. Getting back to what you were talking about, yes. And I don't have the patience for it. Like dealing with just every little thing. Yeah. Like sometimes people will, how many grams of carb, or not necessarily how many grams of carbs. Now they talk about how many grams of fat do you eat. And I'm like,
which is protein and all that.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know. I eat the fat that comes on the meat, and then I eat extra butter. I mean, that's pretty much what I do.
Sometimes I don't generally eat breakfast. So I get up in the morning. I usually get to lunch. My lunch is early, teachers. So it's like at 11:45, and I make a bunch of hard-boiled eggs for the week. And a couple of the days I do make my own bone broth. And so I'll take some of that, and I'll have that for a lunch. And then I eat, like, if you want to call it dinner, I don't know, when I get home. So
that's funny. I've used that term, Linner.
Yeah. So I'll eat lunch and then Linner. Yeah.
Yes.
And then that's usually my big meal. So because I'm home, right? I want to enjoy my ribeye or picanha. Oh my gosh, you guys, picanha. Like, if you haven't tried it, go get yourself a picanha. Do yourself a favor. I have a recipe on my channel that is gold. It comes out perfect every time. That's my Saturday thing. So I make it on Saturday, and then that's my food for Saturday and Sunday. But oh man, it's delicious. And then I'll have a ribeye or two throughout the week. And then the other nights I'll do like ground beef bowl with an egg, or like today I had a couple of burger patties because I had 2 ribeyes unthawed yesterday and my husband ate the other one. I told him he could have it, but I didn't have
So he did not scarf your ribeye. Okay.
No, I gave it to him. I mean, he asked and I gave it to him. And then today
that was nice. Now he owes you.
Yeah, true. So I had my hamburgers tonight, which is not a bad thing. Like I love a good hamburger patty and some bacon. I didn't have any bacon today. But those bacon ends in pieces, that's the other thing. I was so happy to talk to you because you're live and I'm trying to tell you stuff and that chat has, a limit on words. And I'm like, but I want to talk to you.
Exactly.
Bacon ends in pieces. Those were delicious.
And we'll have to just get on and just do this regularly. And I think that there is a weekly stream that's going to be starting. You want to talk about that?
There is a weekly stream that's going to be starting with my 2 friends. They're actually on right now. I see Ellie's comment on right now, and Miss Lindsay, the one that got to go grocery shopping because her kids were sleeping. They're my 2 partners. And we are starting a new live stream weekly called Lioness Lifestyle Live. And it's women focused because, sometimes our issues are like Mike was saying, like, oh no, girl talk, right? And so, but this is specifically made for us women. And we have just all the topics, but the first one are going to be, oh yeah, Lindsay, I'll answer that in a minute. Yes, but I'll answer that in a minute. The first one is going to be on Tuesday, the 26th. And I'm at Pacific time. It's 5:00 Pacific or 8 Eastern. And the rest of those time zones you guys can figure out. But every Tuesday, the first one will just be the 3 of us. So you can kind of get to know your 3 hosts. We've already invited some female carnivores or just anybody that's eating meat-based, right? It can be keto, but if you're eating meat-based, we want to talk to you. And our goal is to get different points of view. So like women in different decades of life. So like, I feel like I can learn a lot from you because you're a decade ahead of me. Like you're where I'm going. And so I want to hear from you. I want your wisdom. And me at 47 might have some wisdom for my 37 and 27-year-old friends, right? And so,
oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, and it's not just strictly women's issues, right? But just, carnivore in general, but including with the women's issues, how does this affect our families? Do we have families that are eating this way with us, or are we kind of swimming upstream with this, or what are those challenges like? How do we have a good family work if we work, life balance with this way of eating? So we already have a few really excellent guests lined up for like our first few streams. And by the way, Lindsay and Ellie, I met just through doing this. So I saw their channels. Actually, I saw Ellie's channel and I was like, I commented on some of her things, and we've only known each other by Google Meet and things like that. And we've been chatting, and it's like, we're fast friends. So I don't really have any, but I mean, my mom is keto and she's doing awesome. She's 71. I would like to have her on our Lioness show.
You should.
She jogged the other day, you guys. I almost said y'all, like I'm from the South, but she jogged the other day.
Say y'all, we don't own it.
Hey y'all. So she jogged. Like she goes for walks every day. And she texted me and she's like, on my walk today, I just had energy, so I jogged. My jaw hit the floor. This woman is 71.
Great.
She's not on a single medication. Her arthritis pains that she was getting have gone away. I mean, she was telling me this stuff, and I'm like, you are very interesting. I was texting her. You are very interesting. Like, you need to come on my live stream.
Yes.
I don't know if I can get her, but I want that wisdom from those older ladies. For me, and then the younger ones too. That's fascinating to me. Like the teenagers. I want to hear from those teenage carnivores, and
yeah, because they'll start young.
Yes.
I mean, think about it.
Ah, yes. Their whole life. And there are some moms feeding their kids this way. And like, how's that working? Like, how's that going? I'm not going to give anything Ellie's experiences away or Lindsay's, but I mean, that's just so interesting to me. I wish I had known this when my kids were little. So now I can just be a lighthouse for them. Their standard American diet. And I have one practically adult and one in high school. And I don't think I'm going to change them by force at this point, but I'm a lighthouse. They see me out there sprinting. My older son videoed me run down my street on day 1. He's going to come out and video me run on day 30 so we can see if there's any difference. Yeah, so they see me. They see me eating steak. They saw me for a short I did eating a tablespoon of butter, which I'll do if I feel like in the morning I just need that. He goes, what? You ate a tablespoon of butter? I'm like, yeah, that's how I would have felt the same way 6 months ago. But now if I think about a tablespoon of butter, that's like, awesomeness.
Okay, I'll share a little secret with you. I live by myself and I always have plenty of butter, but I have a stick of butter in my refrigerator that I'll just reach in there and grab and just take a big old bite off the end of it.
Yes, that's
And
what
then
I'm
I
talking
just
about.
fold the end back over and put it in its little spot.
I
And
can't do
then
that because it's not just my butter, but I have my Carrie Gold butter. They make it in a tub that's like naturally softer. I've showed it on my channel. It's like
yeah,
soft butter, but it doesn't have any junk in it. It's just cream and salt. So I just take a
that's
scoop
good.
of it. It scoops right out, like it scoops. And so I
Mhm.
just scoop out a big spoonful, and oh man.
Now, if
Salt
I
is
were to cook something
necessary.
for someone, I can assure them if you ever happen to be a guest at my house, I will not use the bite butter, okay? I won't use that. I do keep other butter and I keep my bite butter separate from the rest of the butter.
That's a
But I
shirt.
always,
Hashtag bite butter.
that's right. But I have my bite butter off to the side in its special little spot. And when I come down, I might go, I don't know, I might grab some water or something or have to come feed the cat, just whatever. And I'll just reach in there and just take a big old chunk off of it. And I don't know, it just gives me, but I probably need to stop doing that. Maybe. I don't
When
know.
I do it is when my body tells me, and it's usually in the morning. So I don't usually eat breakfast, but some mornings I'm like,
Mhm.
I need a boost of energy. And when I take that bite of butter, that's what it gives me. It's like, okay, I'm ready to go. I think it's because I'm fat adapted. So
Yep.
I do that. I feel great until my lunch. I don't do it every morning, but like the other day I felt like doing it. And then that's why I'm like, well, I'm going to make a short about this since I'm eating my butter. I'm going to put that on there and tell people why I do it. Maybe a couple times a month, but yeah, it like opens up I won't share my bite butter. Please don't, Ellie. So the question was, do I deal with my students better? The previous question on Carnivore. And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. So it takes a lot of patience to be a teacher. And I feel like it's my responsibility because they're fifth grade. So in California, they're heading to middle school. So it's a whole nother environment after this where they're going to be switching teachers and they really have to like grow up in this year. It's like their last year to like get ready for that. So I feel a big responsibility to like help them mature. And I've noticed a big trend in recent years where these fifth graders used to be much more capable and like self-reliant than they are now. Like now they're like babies kind of. I'm not trying to be mean, and then their parents play into that a lot. Like, well, but they're just little. I'm like, but next year they're going to be in middle school. So that just takes a lot of patience to try to help them develop. It's a process, and it's so much easier for me to do that now, and I have so much more patience with them. And this was on my channel. I know I keep saying my channel, but I put this on my channel because this one hit me. So I had a student in my class, and a week or two into the school year, she brings me this yellow orchid. And I have a partner teacher. Yes, I have a partner teacher, and she brought my partner that also teaches. We share the kids. I teach the math and science, and she teaches the language arts and social studies. And so my partner teacher got a purple orchid. So that made me curious, like, why is my orchid yellow? And she said, because you're always happy and smiling, and yellow is a happy color. I mean, what? That would not have happened before Carnivore. I was not always happy and smiling. I was barely dragging one foot in front of the other, make it through the day, fake it, not even fake it till you make it, just fake it and like don't like fall down. I have as much energy. I have more energy than the kids now. So I get out there at PE. We do yoga together. We were talking about that on your live stream. I was trying to type about my yoga. So we get out there. We do yoga together. I teach them the different poses. And then later on in the year that we will invite the first graders out with us, and the fifth graders will teach the first graders.
Nice.
Yeah. So we pay that on down to the littles. So anyways, but yeah, so we learn a few poses, all the warrior poses, the upward dog, down dog, except our mascot is the wolves. And so we call it the upward facing wolf and the downward facing wolf.
Of course.
Tree pose, the basic poses. But man, when they come in from that, they're so much more like grounded and focused, and they get excited about it because they can balance, and they're like, Mrs. Keel, how do you balance like that? And I'm like, just keep going, find a spot, look at it, get in your zone, and they do, and and then it all just kind of goes together. I would not have gotten out there and done yoga and stretches and all of that with them before this, but I do now. I have a girl that just asked me, can you teach me to play volleyball? Because I have tryouts in a couple of weeks. I'm like, I will come out on my lunch and we'll work on some of your volleyball skills. I would not have given up my lunch. I would want to sit at my lunch. I have 45 minutes. I would want to sit at my lunch. So we're going to go out and do some volleyball. I have another girl playing volleyball, and I keep bugging her. Give me your schedule. I want to come to a game. Like, I would not have gone out on a Saturday to go to some kid's game that's in my class. I mean, I love them and everything, but like, I'm tired. I just want to sit on a Saturday because I can. Yeah, I'm going to go. So I will go watch them play whatever their sport is. And so it's building those relationships with the kids that once you have that, they'll work for you. Like, they'll do anything for you. And I didn't have the energy to do that before. It was like, here's your math. I feel like I'm a good teacher, but I have the energy now to like form those relationships and do the things that they want to do, with them. And that's just made all the difference. So, I mean, they come up and they hug me. And they, it's just like, they'll hug me after lunch. How was your lunch? And I'm like, my lunch was great. How was your lunch? Because they want to know. They know about my sprint challenge. How's your sprinting going? Are you still sore? Yes, I'm still sore.
Yes.
Yes.
Can't you tell I'm limping?
Yeah. But they'll ask about that kind of stuff. My youngest son injured his toe at school the other day. And the next day they said, how's his toe? Is he okay? Aww. So it's like the relationships, right, that you build with these kids that really make the difference. And I'm just noticing that I'm a lot better at that now. That's my answer, Miss Lindsay, about am I able to handle those kids?
And I will tell you, you remind me a lot of my daughter-in-law. You really do. It's just incredible. Maybe that's why I felt a kinship with you initially. I don't know, but it's just really strange that somehow we connected like that. But you remind me a lot of her. That is a compliment. I know a lot of in-laws don't like their children-in-law, but in this case, I love my daughter-in-law. She's sweet. She's awesome. So this is a compliment.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We teachers sort of have a lot of us are, we've all been trained. We've all been doing this. So we kind of put off that vibe. People can tell. They ask me, are you a teacher? Because I think Ellie said, are you a teacher because you speak so well or something like that,
and you also, and I've noticed this with my daughter-in-law too, she can explain something very well. When someone has a question or whatever, she just has the correct phrasing or just knows how to say it. And it's not that she's talking down or like talking to a fifth grader. It's not necessary. It's not that really. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just the patience maybe, or the coming up with the correct words, or maybe she's just accustomed to explaining things. So I don't know what it is, but, and you've got that same ability. I just noticed that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Really I know we don't notice those things in ourselves. So when it's nice to hear it from somebody else, because
we don't need that mean voice saying things anymore.
No, I don't.
Listen to good, positive, happy voices.
That's right.
When that ugly voice tries to come back, we just boot him out. But mine has pretty much stayed away. I did get a little bit frustrated today, and the little voice kind of was knocking, and I was like,
nope.
Go away.
Yeah. And it's amazing that you can sort of, you can do that. It's just kind of easier to do that. So like for my channel, I want to get a playlist going. I want to start visiting you can sniff out a teacher. Yes, we have a certain odor, don't we? You can sniff us out. I want to start visiting, like grass-fed farms and butcher shops. And there's a place that does pasture-raised eggs that I want to go visit and kind of highlight those places. And I've contacted the pasture-raised egg. I contacted them because my mom sort of knows them. And I didn't get an answer. And then my mom saw her and told her about it and then told me she's excited. So I emailed her again and didn't get an answer. But I know, but it's like, okay, my mom just goes, don't give up. I'm like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to go double check the email address, make sure I have it right. But I'm not like, well, she just doesn't want to be on my channel, so I'm going to just give up on the whole idea. Like, no, I'm going to figure out why. Maybe my email's not getting through. Maybe she was busy, but I can tell that voice that wants to say it's because you're no good at this. I can just tell that to go away, come up with my plan and what I'm going to do next. So like, instead of thinking about, I'm going to continue to try to get to them, but there's a butcher shop about 10 miles from my house. I'm going to go there this weekend and get the one and see if I can talk to that owner. I'm just going to go and be like, hey, I'm here. I have a channel. You want to talk to me?
Hey, and they probably will. Most people, you know what? A lot of people, most people would be flattered.
It's a local place. They don't even have a website. So I want to go and see, like, how is their meat better? What are their prices compared to the grocery store? Why are they doing this? Like, what are the benefits in their opinion? That's kind of what I want to go find out. But it's just like this little hole in the wall place with no website. And I'm going to go check it out and see what's going on over there.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it might bring them more business too, because I mean, carnivores are out there. It's really interesting about that. Like Sunday, I got to talking to somebody at the store. He's a cashier, and I seen, and gosh, imagine me talking to somebody, which, but anyway, and he said that he eats mostly meat. He doesn't even and he's from Europe. And came over here, but he said that he won't eat vegetables and stuff from the United States. And so if he eats vegetables, he'll eat them in Europe, but he won't eat them here. But so he eats basically all meat. He eats a little bit of dairy and, a few things along those lines. And I just was like, yeah, we're here. People just don't see us.
Yeah.
Or people just, because it's not the popular thing to be at the moment. It's, the thing to be is vegan or vegetarian.
Oh, yeah.
And hey, if that's what you are, cool. More power to you.
Yep.
It's just, but don't tell me how to eat. Don't try to take away my choice. That's all I ask. But you can eat whatever you want. Anybody, I don't care. You can eat poop if that's what you want to eat.
It doesn't bother me at all, but I will say there's a teacher at my school site that's a vegetarian, and she's very supportive. Like, she has that same attitude that we're saying, that's how it should be. Like, everybody should have their own choice. I tell her about my channel, and she's excited for me. She thinks it's great. Like, that's not what she's going to do, but like, she's happy for me, and she's fine with me doing that. I have a student with severe allergies this year, so I can't eat my lunch in my room because he's allergic to eggs. And so I can't eat them in there. So I've been going to her room. And at first I was like, I'm sorry, this is meat. And she's like, don't even worry about it. Like, you do you. So, I mean, that's just nice to see that there are those out there that, just live and let live. And she sees me. She sees what I look like. She sees my energy. I got the carnivore glow, if I do say so myself, You
do.
I've had acne and it's gone. It's gone. Adult acne, gone. Cystic acne, no more. So anyway, I mean, she sees all of that. So I'm just consistent. But a really cool thing is that there's another aide in that room too. And she said, because I have my partner teacher, she's ketovore. I don't know. She'd say she's keto. I don't know what she'd say she is. But anyway, she eats a lot of eggs too. And so this aide was saying, why do you guys always have eggs? Like, are you doing Atkins? Like, that's what she said to us. And we sort of explained a little bit, what we're doing. And, she was like, she listened, but she wasn't interested. You could tell she kind of thought it was a little bit crazy and stuff. And then, at the end of lunch, by gosh, if she didn't pull out 3 pills, her blood pressure pill, I don't know what other 2 pills. It was 3 pills. One was blood pressure. I know that. 2 other pills. So she's got, I almost forgot my pills, my blood pressure and she said what they were, but I don't remember. And I just thought, I didn't say anything, right? But I'm like, no, do this with us, please, right? Is what I'm thinking in my head. But day after day, for about a week and a half, we just kept talking about it. Ellie. And about a week and a half later, after just kind of talking about it, like, and then I started this channel, and like, people are starting to subscribe. It's really cool. And look, I put up this recipe, and here's this picanha, and these are how I do my egg, whatever, just chatting, right? And I feel so good. Finally, one day, about a week and a half later, she said, after I have my blood work done, I think I'm going to give this a try.
Well, what do you know? Live by a quiet example, like Dr. Berry says.
She was skeptical as all heck. on that first day, she was like, okay. She didn't say anything negative, but you could just tell by her demeanor, you know? And yeah, a week and a half later, just eating with us every day. And yeah, so she said her blood work is in November. I wish it was sooner, but she wants to get that initial blood work done. I get it. I'm just going to just keep being there. And then I had another lady that I don't even know come up to me and say, somebody told me that you're doing this and I'm interested in this. And how can I find your channel? She's an older lady. She's never done YouTube before. I said, give me your phone. She goes, I'm going to watch you, you know? So, I mean, you talk about it and people will see that. I mean, and I don't mean in a preachy way. It's just like,
no, not at all.
Example, and people notice. And then somebody else, I didn't talk to her. Somebody else that talked to me said, you need to go talk to Cristie. So she came up to me and I was happy to, you know, to share with her. So that's starting to happen in my life. And that is like super exciting because that's what I want to do now. I was helped by so many influencers online, you know, watching all their stuff, like even the smaller channels too, and just helped by them that I want to pay that forward, you know. But like people in real life are coming up to me that I like actually know. I'm like, wow, this is cool. So
yeah, my brother and a friend. My brother is actually, he's more keto, I guess, but like he has given up bread and seed oils, you know, the two big, and sugar. So those things he's given up. He does eat vegetables but he eats lots of meat. And now when he comes to my house, he'll bring, like, we call them meat cookies. You know,
I love a good meat cookie.
Yes. He'll bring meat cookies, or if we go out to eat somewhere, we make sure that it's a place where we can get meat. But he's just, and I don't preach either. I mean, I do say, like, and this was before he actually started going low carb and stuff. I mean, he of course knew how our mother's quality of life was toward the, you know, last few years there, you know, as a type 2 diabetic. And unfortunately it was the, you know, I'll eat what I want and just take insulin as a bolus or whatever. And it's just like, I mean, I remember the first time I ever saw her eating spaghetti and I was just like, you aren't supposed to be eating that as a diet. And this was like several years ago. I mean, I even knew better, but people think and they're led to believe that they can eat anything they want as long as they take enough insulin to keep their blood sugar lower. And
they wear that monitor. Gosh, there was a lady at work. She's wearing that monitor. It would beep, you know, I got to eat because now I'm beeping, and now I got to, you know, insulin because I'm beeping, and it's all just fine. It's just how it is. I'm like, how is that fine? Yeah.
I am scared to death of that. I don't. That's what got me into this, you know, back in 2015, was just, I was like, I do not want to end up like that. For one thing, I hate needles. So if I ever had to give myself shots, I suppose I would just die. No, I probably wouldn't. I would do it. You know, you do what you have
but
to.
I pass out, honestly, with needles. Although with Carnivore, it'll be interesting. I am eventually going to get some blood work. We'll see if I can do without passing out on Carnivore.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, it's not, of course, I really wasn't. Now, blood work is kind of different for some reason. I don't know. I can kind of but to do it myself, like, you know, to give myself a shot, I just don't think I could do it. And of course, I wouldn't want to get blood work every day. It's not fun.
Right.
However, it wasn't a stressful thing when I got blood work done yesterday.
Good.
So,
well, I'm going to go do that if I can work up the courage. I kind of want to wait till I'm 6 months in because I hear that's a kind of a good marker. So in another 3 months, I'll make an appointment. I'm kind of overdue for my annual physical. I am curious to see what my doctor will say too. Like, I'm wondering if she's like, I don't know how she feels about this because I haven't been to her since I started, you know, and I don't really have any blood work to compare it to because I just say no thank you to the blood work.
I can unequivocally, whatever that word is, I can definitely say, how about that?
Yep.
That I am a lean mass hyperresponder.
You got that HDL.
Oh, I had it before. It was like 189 or something. It's almost 300, just LDL alone. I checked my labs online, and so like they started posting labs yesterday. And so when I saw that LDL, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be getting a call.
Yeah, they're gonna try you on that statin.
Well, I didn't get a call today. I'm like, well, that's interesting. But I had also requested a fasting insulin, and they just now, well, just like when we started our stream, I hadn't checked since this morning and it still wasn't there, but I had requested it. And since it wasn't a traditional part of the panel, I guess they had to, check it separately or something. But anyway, so, but my fasting insulin is 3.8. I believe Dr. Barry would say that's a huzzah.
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 Awesome. That's
3.8.
Awesome. Yes.
And my HDL was 78. And then my triglycerides were a little bit higher. And I think it's because, well, I don't know. I think I've heard that also if you don't get enough sleep before you go, it could raise them. But they were still well under. It was like 89 or 88.
That's great.
My
That's
triglycerides.
Great. Yeah.
So I'm like,
you sound just fine to me. That is not medical advice because I am not medical person.
Right. The little disclaimer, we have to.
Yep. We have to say that. But well, that's great. I'm glad to hear about that blood work for you. That's another step on my road that I'm going to be heading into. It's important for me too, because like I said, I just turned it down because I just don't want to do it, but I need to do it because of my way of eating and because I'm getting older. I need to do it. I kind of want to get my hormones checked just for a baseline. I don't think there's any problem. I don't think I'm, the last visit I had for my well exam, we'll just say that for the men out there, she said it doesn't seem like I'm anywhere near, menopause type of symptoms. So that's good. But I want to get some blood work just to kind of see and then compare and how long I can stretch that out before that starts to happen.
Yep.
So.
Well, we have been at this for an hour and 20
minutes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just looked at the clock. Carrie.
I know. This has been so much fun. I love it. We have got to do this a lot. And I know that hopefully I will be on the Lady Lioness.
Return that form. I know we sent you an invitation.
I did return it.
Okay, good.
I've already filled it out. I filled it out as soon as I saw it.
Awesome. Yeah, one of us will be getting back to you because I'm, teaching during the day. It's probably not going to be me. It'll be one of the other two ladies, but one of us will get back to you. And we kind of have a calendar. You get to kind of schedule which Tuesday you want to come on. And we're excited for that one. So everybody come check it out. September 26th, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time.
And how can people find you?
So I'm at Meeting Wellness, but it's meeting like meat, MEAT. I almost forgot to say you inspired my name because you had
thank you.
And I was like, I gotta do a meat pun. So Meeting Wellness with meat, MEAT is what I came up with on YouTube. And I just started my Instagram, same thing, but I've only posted a few things because I don't know anything. I don't know the first thing about Instagram. I get on there and I'm just like clicking stuff. I don't know, but that's my project this weekend is to kind of, hi, Ron. Sorry you're late. Buff up my Instagram a little bit because that's just a new thing for me to learn. I'm learning so many new things. So I am on Instagram, and by the weekend, there will be more content there as well.
And I just started my Instagram account as well. So I'll have to find you.
Are you Meatomorphis on
My Meatomorphis? Okay, it's all one word. At My Meatomorphis.
Yep. Mine's Meeting Wellness, all one word. So you should.
All right.
We'll find each other. We'll follow each other. Yeah.
All right, cool. And then
there it is. 8 p.m. Eastern. Yes, thank you, Lindsay, for giving me that Eastern time. I'm Pacific, so 8 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be our first
that would be 7 p.m. Central.
Yes, thank you.
For those of us in
Mountain,
the Central Time Zone.
Yep, and then 5 Pacific.
I'm accustomed to doing that mental math because TV shows used to always come on at like 8 Eastern.
Yeah.
And they would say like, I don't know, 6 Pacific and 8 Eastern, but I would always do that little subtraction in my head because we were a Central Time Zone. So I knew that we would have to take an hour off. Mm-hmm. But you have to be careful about Now, most people do daylight savings, but there are some areas that do not.
Oh yeah, like Arizona doesn't. I know
Yep.
that because they're just. I'm in California, so they're just a little bit over
Mm-hmm.
to the east of us, and I know they don't. So there's times when we match up part of the year on time, and then the other part of the year they're a different time from us.
Lindsay, I'll tell you, yes, it's chili. Actually, competition chili has no beans. Official competition chili has no beans. So your chili is actually more chili than the bean chili, and it's way more chili than the chicken and white bean chili.
Yes. I haven't made that carnivore chili. I'm gonna go find me a recipe for some carnivore chili because that sounds delicious.
And it is actually chili because it's
right. And I've always liked the no bean better anyway.
Me too.
Yes. I'm down for that. Lindsay, do you put tomatoes in there or no? I know she's ketovore, so I'm asking.
Yeah, this is true. Lindsay, do you put tomatoes in yours? I haven't had chili in a long time.
Yeah, me neither.
I had tomato. The last time I had chili, it was probably this time last year. But when I make chili, I never put beans in it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm checking to see if Lindsay has a
answer about the tomatoes.
Yeah. Okay.
Chili is no beans. Yes,
chili is no beans. That's right. And then let's see. Okay. Well, crud. I keep missing my mark.
That's gonna be me when I run my first live stream. I just sit here. You get to do all the clicking. That's another hurdle I gotta do.
Oh, okay. So Lindsay says when I have tomatoes.
But she said something about it being hot. Oh, today.
Today.
Have tomatoes, not today. Okay.
Cool. And throw some rouse sauce in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
Okay.
Well, Lindsay, you got to invite me over for dinner.
I know that sounds really yummy.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Well, I guess we're going to call it a day. I'm going to go in there and get some meat cookies.
Go get some meat cookies.
Bacon.
I had mine already.
Yeah, and probably some hard-boiled eggs.
Awesome.
Always, I do meal prep, and especially during the week, there are just some days where I don't even feel like warming something up in the microwave. So I know I have to meal prep or I'll be incredibly lazy. And I know myself. So I just know what I need to do. So that's what I do.
Awesome.
And Ellie says, this was fun. And I agree.
I agree, Ellie. Thanks for hanging in with us.
Yes, thank you so much. And to everybody who was here. And of course, I need to remember to do the like, share, subscribe thing, which I never do until the end. And you really should do it at the beginning, but I'll get there.
Yeah, same. That's another thing. I'm just, like I said, fail upward, right? Just you'll get it. Thanks, Lindsay. Do you see how she called me our Cristie?
Yes. Is that not
Thanks,
cool?
Ellie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes,
love. And let's see, Lindsay says, so much fun and love you, ladies, and we love you right back. And that is not trite.
Nope.
This is a true heartfelt feeling. I don't know. I have found my family, my tribe. I am lucky enough to have a very wonderful immediate family. Mm-hmm. Again, my kids, I couldn't ask for better. However, I will say that some of the extended family, not so much. And I am happy to have a family of my choosing who, love, I don't know. It's just a different environment, a different vibe. Burger steaks.
Burger steaks, yes.
Ron.
I just had that thought today. I'm going to go home and have some burger steaks. That's exactly what I thought, Ron.
Yep. And really, burgers are just ground up steak anyway. So
true.
And they're easier for me to meal prep. I need to learn how to cook a steak, and that'll be a video at some point. And if nothing else, it'll be funny.
It will. And if you post it, you'll get all kind of comments, because I posted one yesterday and I got a bunch of views and just a variety of comments on that one. So you'll get comments because everybody has their way,
and it's good to learn different ways. I am all for the easiest way. What is the easiest way to cook a steak?
Yep,
So
that's me.
we'll find out. Maybe I'll pose that question and just ask people to tell me.
I'll answer. Post it on your channel. I'll answer what I think it is.
Okay, that'll work. I will do that. And I'm also I am gonna do a labs video too. I know people like to hear about labs, but that LDL, I was like, oh my God, my LDL it jumped way up when I started eating like low carb, and then got down more to keto and ketovore. But boy, my LDL has never been. I mean, I'm serious. It's like 298 or something. I mean, I'm like, ooh. It's like, oh no.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't bother me.
But there's that other test you can get that delves deeper into the two types of LDL. Don't ask me what it's called because I don't remember. But it will tell you if it's like the good one or the bad one, the small density or large density particles.
Yeah. So I may or may not get that. I don't know. I'm just so happy with my metabolic numbers, with the exception of one thing. And I'll talk about it. It's not one that I'm terribly worried about because I really do think lack of sleep. Never go to a concert. And I did not eat anything bad at all. And I did not drink alcohol either. My brother doesn't drink, and I rarely do, but out of respect for him, even if I did drink, I wouldn't. But anyway, I didn't drink the night before labs, and I didn't eat anything. I ate before I went because the food prices are ridiculous and it's crap. So I think going to bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning and then having to get up really, really early, my body was just messed up and my fasting glucose was a little elevated.
Yeah.
Because normally it's like between, like around 78, or it could be like 84. Last few years it's just been in that range. So I don't know. I may ask for a do-over on that one.
Yeah, or just delve into it more with the high density, low density, because I forget I think the low density ones are bad, I think, and the high density ones are actually good. You want those. So just the LDL number alone doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, and I think so the LDL I'm not worried about really at all, but I want to do over on my fasting glucose.
Oh, gotcha. That would do it to me too. I know, if I didn't sleep.
Yeah. But other than that, everything else I'm like really happy with.
Awesome.
So I think, but I'll get into that some more. And people do love labs. Boy, I don't track that much, but now I've got to say I cheat too. Because my doctor's office, I've been going to the same doctor for years. And so my lab's going back like 15 years or in the, ECR. So I just log on. If I'm curious about something, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, all right, everybody. I am so sorry I run at the mouth sometimes. But anyway, you guys, I love you very much.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun, Cristie.
We're going to do it again.
Yes, we definitely will.
We'll email and we'll set something up for another day.
You bet. Yeah. All right. You all take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.